Clarity is power, but clarity doesn't come always right away. So how do you find clarity when you are confused at a crossroad? I am Coach Soul. Welcome to our Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom, where spirit drives performance. Today, we'll be talking about finding clarity when you are at a crossroad. The reality is that finding clarity can feel challenging at times, but it's one of the most powerful elements that allows you to amplify your performance and your impact. So first, we'll be looking at the anchors and the elements that are important to finding clarity. Second, we'll explore when there is confusion at the crossroad, how to gain clarity. And finally, third, we'll explore from a spirit performance edge coaching vantage point, how to build more clarity when you are lost or confused. So let's dive in. So what are the elements that are important to finding clarity? Well, let's note first that clarity is power that helps reach high performance or any success possible, mainly because clarity acts as a foundation that guides your action, that guides your decision, and that guides your effort toward making a meaningful goal. Without a doubt, clarity leads to clear vision, which leads to focus and to better decision making and less overwhelming or anxiety. The major key components are know your outcome and know what you want, and most importantly, why you want it. That why is your purpose that will drive you to take appropriate action at critical moments. In order to do that, the quickest way is to look at your own anchors, meaning what matters to you the most. What do you value? Why this outcome is aligned with your value. In other words, be intentional. And this is just not pep talk, because I want to talk about the science behind this. Why clarity is power? Well, simply because when you have clarity, your brain will help you to pay attention to the element of achieving the goals and the result toward the outcome wanted. In neuroscience, there is a part of our brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS, that tells your brain what to pay attention to, like a servo mechanism. Basically, for example, when you purchase a new car, there are more cars similar to yours that you start seeing on the road. They don't just appear all of a sudden, it's just that you are able to pay more attention to it. So it's simply because of the excessive volume of data we need to process information every day. In order to survive as a quantum computer, our brain does three things. It deletes, it either distorts, or generalizes. So in a way, it creates and acts like a filter, which makes us prone to illusions, good one or bad one. So regardless, that is what is at the basis of our emotional misalignment, of being sometimes in denial, avoiding, escaping, or trying to bury your true emotion. Now, in case you might be thinking, but I don't still know the outcome I want, don't worry, because that leads us to the second part, because sometimes, yes, it's difficult to know what you want. So what do you do then? Before we jump into a solution, it's important to understand that lack of clarity and confusion is coming from an inner conflict. To resolve this challenge, you want to start from where you are, meaning it's easier to know what you don't want, because what you can no longer tolerate. Why is it easier? Because it's based on your reality and your experience. In a way, you are putting a line in the sand by bringing it into your consciousness. You are making it a minimum and a must to have. Simply ask yourself 3 or 4 critical questions like, what exactly am I confused about? Is this confusion based on fact, based on assumptions, or based on emotions? What outcome am I hoping for? What is the next best right of action to move me away from what I don't want? In those questions, you will be able to unearth some facts through maybe journaling, through mind mapping, etc. But here, what's relevant, even though I don't have a whole time to go over it here, is really the fundamental pillars you need to understand is that your daily experience is driven by 3 main drivers, which are social conformity, self-projection, and resources. And quickly, social conformity, you can think of it as an unseen pressure or unspoken rules that are imposed on people by accepted society norms. As you can imagine with social media nowadays and the 24 hours news cycle, that conformity is elevated to critical levels. And second, for self-projections, it reflects the doubt, the insecurities, the fear that are inherited through our personalities and our weaknesses. Finally, resources are important and self-explanatory, especially if there is a perception of scarcity, like will I have enough time? Will I have enough money or energy to survive or to satisfy my need? So these three drivers are at the basis of the formation of your illusions and your filter, particularly when the brain deletes, distorts, or generalizes. And I have some prior videos that go into details about these three drivers of your experience. I don't have time to explain all here, but you can jump in and check those out. So when you are confused or lost and looking for clarity, I recommend starting with your reality. What is that you can no longer tolerate? What is that you are moving away from? And why is that a non-negotiable for you to change this condition? And in doing that, make sure to connect to that purpose. And now, in case you are still not getting the clarity you need, that leads us to a third part as you are digging deeper into the spirit performance realm. And this is a new paradigm shift you need to look at. And I don't have a whole time to explain about the quantum door, and you can find out more about it by watching my video on the quantum door. But the quantum door is basically a spirit elevation platform, the system that equips people to move from being rigid, from being stuck, from being self-absorbed, from being doubtful, from being frustrated or overwhelmed, to moving in the flow, into being confident, into ease of state of optimal performance. Because now with that new understanding, that leads us to the most fundamental that the quantum door teaches, that was at the foundation in ancient Egypt. It is paradigm. It's the adherence to the fact that beyond the current model of mind and subconscious mind, that humans experience themselves in 5 dimensions at least. The depth dimension, the spirit of the principal dimensions, the emotional dimension, the mental dimension, and the physical dimension. So the key pillar to understand is that we are going in and out of this dimension all the time. But what differs is our attention, which is a common denominator. Now, why is this relevant? Because if you look at the physical dimension that we are dealing with our 5 senses, it's easier to think about something or someone you want or you don't want. That will be the what, or the having, or the vision. Basically, the manifestation in a physical dimension. For example, which could be a new career, a new relationship, a new car, a new trophy, etc. In a way, now we need to reverse engineer from this. Why? Because action generate results. So the next set of questions will be, what do I need to do in order to obtain the result? For example, of a new career I want. What action I need in order to achieve that desired outcome? So if it's a new career, is it a new certification? Is it a new training? Is it a connection? Is it a relocation? In asking this next set layer of questions, you are creating a bridge between the physical dimension and the emotional and mental dimension. Why? Because in order to take certain action, you need to have certain beliefs and you need to be motivated. By reverse engineering, you will be able to identify the illusion and the limiting beliefs or the disempowering emotions that have been holding you back, which lead us to the spirit and principle dimension, as you will be able to see who you need to become. In doing that, you are going all the way to source. Who do you need to become in order to be able to take specific action so that you can get the desired results? Do you need to be more confident? Do you need to be more assertive? Do you need to become more compassionate? Do you need to become more courageous? Here lies your alignment and a beginning clarity, because you are becoming congruent. Then, from being to doing and having, here you are aligned for optimal performance, result, and success. In a practical manner, take some quiet time to connect with your higher self, because your higher self and your heart has all the answer, and know who you truly want to become. And ask yourself, for example, this magical question for a couple of weeks, if it's needed, in a row, until you get the answer you need. What is the most congruent next step of action for my higher self? And you will find clarity, because your brainwave will be vibrating in coherence with your heart at frequency that are resonating in the electronic magnetic field, where the data and answer already exist to your question. Please understand that clarity isn't always about finding the perfect answer, because it's about finding enough focus, enough understanding to move forward with confidence. Certainly, as you can tell, I can talk about more about this, but I want to respect your time. And if you want to continue this conversation with me, please sign up to our brand new community, Performance Edge Wisdom Community. And the link is right below, and you'll get access to more tips and relevant answer to your real problem. And if you have any issue you want me to address and talk about, you can submit them in the comments below or request a specific video on www.thequantumdo.com/video. Or if you want it to be confidential and you need a non-disclosure agreement, please send an email to support@thequantumdo.com. So now, before I leave you today, what are your thoughts? I hope these 3 steps are helpful for you to find more clarity. And what you need to remember is this: a journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step. Meaning sometimes clarity comes through action. Taking small steps, even without perfect understanding, will give you feedback. From that feedback, you adjust and gain more insight. So if this served you today, subscribe, share your experiences in the comment below, and share with your friends. And do not forget, failure is a necessary prerequisite to human excellence. Till next time, live your truth. Now, Coach Soul, out.